IREN reported earnings. I believe it was Thursday of last week. So just to set the stage a little bit, last quarter, uh, IREN investors were mostly upset after earnings, not because headline numbers uh, weren't weren't great, but because they didn't announce any new hyperscaler deals, and that you could just tell that it was testing a lot of investors' patience. For me, I recently started investing in IREN, so I wasn't too bothered. It just seemed like inevitably they're going to sign some contracts. That's not a big deal. So, cut to this quarter, the headline numbers are still not great as they're building out capacity and these contracts are starting to come online. They missed revenue and EPS by roughly 35%. That's mainly due to Bitcoin underperforming right now because they do have a Bitcoin mining business that's currently
Okay.
a significant portion of their revenue. But they're also moving a lot of their hardware from Bitcoin mining to AI GPUs. That's also affecting revenue. Um,
That makes sense.
Now, getting to the what was the big deal for this earnings? They announced a partnership with Nvidia, which the market was fairly happy with. So Nvidia is going to be spending $3.4 billion over the next 5 years for, I believe, 60 megawatts of power
Okay,
um,
from IREN.
from IREN.
Okay, that's a pretty big deal.
I think it's a pretty big deal, yeah, because that uh, 3.4 billion over the next 5 years is roughly $700 million a year for the next 5 years. IREN's current annual revenue is $750 million. So this
Oh,
basically
wow.
locks in their current annual revenue for the next 5 years, and this is just one piece
One
of
deal.
many deals that they have.
Okay.
In addition to that, Nvidia has the option to invest $2.1 billion into IREN at $70 per share, which is currently higher than I think they're at like around $50 right now per share, $55 per share.
Okay.
So that I don't I think that's just the cherry on top. That could be a nothing burger because Nvidia it's just an option. I'm more interested in that Nvidia is a client.
Okay.
Uh, in addition to that, they increased their total energy target from 4.5 gigawatts last quarter to 5 gigawatts this quarter. That's due to an acquisition they made where now they own a data center company in Spain, which I believe is their first European data center exposure. Uh,
What
and
did the
they all
stock do? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh this the stock went up fairly significantly. Let me pull up uh, their chart. Uh, So you can see, like earlier in the week, it was like ranging between $50 and $40. I can just zoom in, and then it shot up to like $60 and has since gone down back to around $55.
Okay. When did they report it? Was it last week?
Yes.
Okay.
Did I say? Yeah. This is the monthly chart. Sorry.
Okay.
In the weekly chart, so I think their earnings was right here.
Right before
So
there?
they
Yeah.
were at $55 and then it went to 60. But I think before hours it shot up to $70. I think part of that was because Nvidia has the option to buy the shares at $70 and the market like had a knee-jerk reaction to that.
I see.
Um
Can you scroll to the top to see the earnings hub score fundamentals?
so it's interesting because when I started investing in IREN, it actually had an A score.
Oh, really?
And over time, it has received a D. But also, as I've said, their earnings reports have not been great. It's that in the near future, they're going to start to materialize, and I'm going to hit on that. I mean, I could hit on it right now. Um, So their end of year ARR target also increased from 3.4 billion to 3.7 billion.
Okay.
Um, of the 3.7 billion, 3.1 billion is already under contract. 61% coming from their original deal with Microsoft, which happened a little while ago now. 23% coming from the Nvidia deal that they just signed. Like a fifth of that Nvidia deal because it's just for 1 year. And then 16% from others. And this $3.7 billion is being generated off of 480 megawatts this year. So again, their
Gotcha.
total megawatt target long term is 5 gigawatts, and they're generating 3.7 billion off of 480 megawatts.
Wow.
Um, Now, one other piece I want to call out is this slide
What is their
where they
margins? Do you know off the top of your head, or
I don't know off the top of my
okay?
head. So this slide shows their current target uh, is 480 megawatts in 2027. Next year, 1,210 megawatts, and then in the beyond 5 gigawatts. Now, this is my biggest issue with their earnings. This 1,210 megawatts should have been branded 1.21 gigawatts, which would have
Gigawatts.
been a perfect nod to
To
1.21
Back to the
gigawatts,
Future.
and they would have had enough energy
1.21
to go
to go
back to the
back in time.
future. This would have been huge. You would have
It's
seen the stock
that
10x from
that
here,
number has to be a tribute to Back to the Future, right? Because
right? Like,
there's no
it's
way you would
too
have
yeah,
1.21, right? Like
it's, like, weirdly
1,210.
specific, right?
Yeah, it's very specific, like
Uh,
it,
but bring this back down to reality. I did do some back of the napkin math of if the so right now they're roughly making 750, or their target is $750 million of ARR per 100 megawatts. So if we assume they're going to continue that, and the Nvidia deal was actually better than that, I'm just averaging out all the deals. So if we assume they stick to something along those lines, in 2027, the expectation would be, and again, this is just my numbers, not theirs, target of $9 billion dollars in
mm,
ARR by the end of 2027. So, and
interesting.
again, their current end of year target is $3.7 billion. So I would like to think that's conservative under the assumption that they can execute. Um, but we will see. Overall, I thought the earnings was very positive. I liked everything that I was seeing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming you didn't listen to the earnings call for this one.
No, it's out of my wheelhouse, and I think one of the things that bothers me about some of these companies is that their margins are extremely low. So they're like operating heavy or like very capital intensive businesses that are very
Yes.
low margin on huge amounts of debt as well. So like the combination of these things are things that turn me off. And this company could quadruple over the next 3 months. I like still wouldn't be in it. Obviously I will have missed out on it, but
Yeah.
I end up sticking to the stuff that I know. But
Yeah. No,
that's
that's
not
a
one
fair
of them.
point. There's going to be a lot of dilution for shareholders as it doesn't, it takes a lot of effort and cash to get to that 5 gigawatt number.
Right,
It's not
right.
an easy road.